guess what, guys? These aren't your customers, but you still have to have relationships, and you need to have relationships with these guys and your customers. Today, we're going to talk about how to manage those customer relationships so they're profitable. So we want to make money in business and we want to have happy customers. How do we combine the two? Let's talk customer relationships and making customer relationships actually profitable. Now, you've seen all the pictures of people holding stacks of money. You've seen people doing baths and money. Heck, I've done baths and money. That's not what you're going for. What? We're supposed to have profitable customer relationships. We want to know how to make money in business. What are you talking about? That's not what we're going for. That's exactly the point. Your customers are not stats. They're not numbers. They are not dollar signs. They're people looking for solutions. Please get this. Underline this. If you're in business for yourself, this is probably the most important thing you can grasp. Your customers are looking for solutions. They're not looking to be sold. So when you're thinking about your customers, think of them as people. I know that sounds crazy. Let's think of them as actual human beings. And for real entrepreneurs, it is so easy to get caught up in the numbers game because you're in business for yourself. I get it. I've been to the place where I have to make the business work because everything is on the line. I've put it all on the line. If I don't make this business work, I don't eat. I get it. So you've got to have your financial goals, but your financial goals come as a byproduct of serving people and adding value to their lives. If you haven't read the book, The Anatomy of Peace, I highly recommend it because in that book, it talks about de-objectifying the person. So go out, go online, go to Kindle, go whatever you do and get a copy of Anatomy of Peace and start reading it. You're going to be blown away with what you find. The person in front of you is a potential client, yes, but more important than that, they have got lives, they've got struggles, they've got needs. And do you know how much courage it takes for them to come up to you and ask for help? That's a big deal. They've already made the decision that something in their world needs to change, and they've come to you for help. Don't abuse your position. Don't abuse your position as the authority figure. Remember to be the one that says, hey, I've been there. I know how to get out of it. I don't know if I'm the right fit for you, but my goal is to help you find what is best for you, whether or not it's me. Make sure that you know that you're not objectifying a person, that you are helping them get from point A to point B. I call this having good bedside manner. If any of you are like me, you've been to a doctor's office. For me, about 1.5 years ago, I had some pretty severe injuries that came as a result of kind of misstepping on a backflip. I broke my leg in 4 different places. It was all over the place. Well, I'll spare the graphics for you. When I went into the doctor's office, I remember the hustle and the bustle of the busyness of the day. And I got to hand it to our doctors and nurses. They deal with the most traumatic cases that you can imagine, anywhere from mental health to physical health or complete lack thereof. That day was a particularly busy day in the ER. And I remember when I went in, I had all these doctors around me. I had the person who wanted to take the x-ray, the person that was responsible for hooking up all my cords and my IVs, the person that was responsible for my chart, the person that was responsible for my insurance. And it was a flurry of activity. And it was very, very easy to feel like a number. This bedside manner really showed up when the doctor came back with my x-rays. He's looking at the x-rays and he's looking at me and I'm sitting there, I'm texting on my phone because I got to coordinate babysitters because my husband and I are now at the hospital. I got to make sure my kids are taken care of. Meanwhile, I've got this break in my leg. He comes back with the x-rays and he's just looking at them and he says, shouldn't you be in more pain? And I think about it for a minute and I think, what do you mean? And he said, well, I'm looking at your x-rays here, Marianne, and you've got 4 breaks in your leg. Your leg is broken in 4 places. And I was like, huh, well, that makes sense. Considering the angle at which I saw my foot fly around, I can see where you're coming from. And I remember his bedside manner being totally kind, totally baffled, and totally personable all at the same time. And I thought, you know what? I like the way you're showing up. Yep, I've got some pain, but we're going to get this fixed up and we're going to get out of here and it's going to be fine. A plate and 8 screws later and I'm walking around, I'm doing my yoga all over the place, but I will never forget the personability of that guy. He didn't just come up to me with a bowl full of medication that says, here, take this. He really took the time to observe me and say, wow, I'm really in awe of what's going on here. I'm surprised that you're not more upset or more in pain. The thing I typically normally see, he could have just dismissed me as another client or as another number or just ignored me and done his job, when really the job is to take care of people. And that's your job as an entrepreneur too, to take care of people, to help them where they're hurting, and to solve the problems that are hurting them. When you want to manage really great customer relationships, part of having a great bedside manner is to be prompt. Be where you say you're going to be. Be early to where you say you're going to be. Be 15 minutes early to all of your appointments. If you're a phone appointment, you better be on that phone first before they meet up with you. Make your appointments. Be there on time. You're devaluing your client's time when you show up late. You're devaluing the time that they set aside for you, especially if you just forget and you're not there when they show up. Or maybe you're there physically, but you're not there here. You're not being present with them. If you want to have a great customer relationship, connect with them here and connect with them here. All of your attention gets to be focused. This is not a time for you to be multitasking. It is not a time for you to be distracted. This is where you get to have 100% of your focus and attention dedicated to what your customer is doing. Now, I in the past used to be the ultimate multitasker. I was the one that wanted to get so much done that I would just try and cram as much as I could. And a lot of people even, they use words like Wonder Woman and stuff when they're around me because I was so multitasking and I was so able to just hammer things out all at the same time. When really what I was doing, when sometimes that really works, I can listen to a book and I can do laundry and I don't have to worry about who I'm missing out on because there's no one else to connect with in front of me. But even then, I could be sending a text to a family member. I could be communicating. If you're going to multitask, make sure that it's involving people and giving the right people the right amount of attention. So the only multitasking I do when I'm working with my clients is taking notes about the client. All of my attention is right on that. I'm not looking at Facebook. I'm not looking on Instagram. I'm not distracted with my time or with my hands. I am totally 100% committed to how my client is showing up and how I'm showing up for my client. Build that relationship by being reliable, trustworthy, and having a great bedside manner. The last thing I want to let you know about is offering bonuses to your clients. I love giving bonuses to my clients, especially when I'm upgrading a program and I see how much value I can add to their experience. I love spending extra time with them. I love giving them extra opportunities that they wouldn't have had before. If you want to add a bonus, give a bonus. Your client relationships will flourish the more you cultivate them. The more you add upon it, the more your client relationships will grow. Think of it as a tree in a garden. The more you give it nutrients, the more you give it sunlight, the more you give it the right amount of water, the faster and stronger that tree will be when it grows. Treat your client relationships as if you're treating a garden. Give it your care, give it your attention, and give it everything you got. Okay, so you know how to turn your customers and your relationships with your customers into profits while at the same time keeping that amazing relationship with your customers, not turning it into a numbers game. Hey, I'd love to see you tomorrow. Click the comments button, leave us a comment, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell. See you tomorrow.